Finding a job in 2025 is absolutely wild. You have sites like Indeed or LinkedIn which have a whole bunch of fake jobs and a whole bunch of fake profiles all over the place, amongst a sea of people who are way more qualified than me. Now, why don't I just try getting hired at someplace like Walmart or McDonald's or someplace that'll hire literal fucking children? Well, for one, I'm autistic. Here's roughly what Walmart feels like to me. I feel so bad for the people in the front end, or God forbid, the self-checkout area. There's crazy people everywhere and they're right next to you and you can't do anything about it, and everything's all loud and the lights are too bright and everything's just so overwhelming. So needless to say, I don't work retail, and even if I theoretically did, I have no way to get there. Alongside my autism, I also suffer from a condition known as dyspraxia, which is a neurological disorder which affects my hand-eye coordination. Add that on top of my not very good already eyesight and all the worms that go on in my head, I just don't drive. And theoretically, if I could drive, why would I want to work for a company like Walmart or Target or any of these other big businesses? They're all the same. Your management treats you like shit, and you work like a peasant for barely any pay. I'm not about that life. That's why I like bitching on the internet so much. I've been on YouTube since I was 9 years old. I'm 22 now. I've spent most of my life doing this, so there's not really much else I can do or know how to do, so I'm just gonna keep doing what I know. I'm not gonna lie, the ever-increasing gap between uploads has also been getting to me. I've been wanting to upload more often. In fact, I've recorded a whole other video. I just didn't really like it, so I just never bothered to finish it. You can see what I made on my Ko-fi page, by the way. But the bigger that gap gets, the more angry I get at myself. Because everyone else seemingly gets to upload or even stream way more than I do. But the truth is, I barely had motivation for these past few months. I've been on a pretty bad depressive spiral and I'm hoping to get out of it soon. But maybe if things start looking up on the channel, maybe then I'll have some more motivation to actually do stuff. Maybe I'll actually start making videos I'm actually proud of. But then again, I look at the state of YouTube nowadays and I'm considering, should I really keep bothering with this? Is this really going to last all that much longer? How much time does YouTube really have? How much time does humanity really have on the internet before AI takes it all over? But I also don't know how to make any other forms of media, so I really don't know what I can do. For all I know, I could just flip like a switch and just stop using the internet. Then again, I've also been seeing a whole bunch of really good small YouTubers lately. I've been meaning to make some sort of like shout out list or something, maybe listing a whole bunch of my favorite channels at the moment. But if you guys have an idea, definitely leave it in a comment below. I'm about half certain that YouTube's trying to silence queer voices on their platform, especially seeing all of Google's ties to the Trump presidency. But hopefully, if you check them out, the algorithm's gonna work in their favor. But even if the social internet we know now goes the way of the dodo, I've been preparing for this moment for years. I always knew big tech would betray me. Ever since Windows 10 released all those years ago. Some could even argue Windows 8 was the start of it. But if you ask me, most of the evil stuff in the tech sphere started around 2015. And it's only gotten worse from there. I'm not gonna get totally into it, but ever since the mid-2010s, innovations just died, and in its spot is grifting schemes. When was the last time any tech devices truly innovated? Maybe the iPhone 10 back in 2016? Or maybe VR technology, but that's a whole other can of worms. If you ask me, AI is the latest on this big long list of grifting schemes that big tech has been doing through all these years. And even stuff like the Apple Vision Pro. Does anyone actually own one? And if they do, should I respect them? Nah, they're rich. No one's got that kind of money in 2025. Let alone in the next couple of years once we enter the Great Depression 2 and World War 3 and the world goes all upside down. I've basically just been hanging out in this little bubble of the internet known as the Fediverse. If you ask me, it's the closest thing, besides Blue Sky I guess, to not be a fascist social media company. Facebook, obviously Twitter, even Reddit, they're ran by the most transphobic, homophobic, racist people on Earth. And to be honest, that is not a safe space for queer individuals anymore. Which is why about 2-3 years ago, I decided to stop using Twitter and moved over to Fedi. And honestly, we haven't had a bot problem. We haven't had nearly as many drama problems as, let's say, Twitter or even Blue Sky. Sure, it does come up from time to time, but it ends up being solved within the day, if anything. And you don't have to worry about shitty moderation because the moderation quite literally owns the server most likely. And as a result, if something ever goes wrong, you could quite literally just @ the server owner. That would be like trying to @ Jack Dorsey to troubleshoot a problem with Blue Sky, or adding Elon Musk to get the fuck out. It really takes me back to the days of the federated internet, where you had forum sites and it was all ran by people. Of course, you had a bit of a bot problem, but it wasn't nearly as severe as it is nowadays. And the reason why Fedi works that way is quite literally because it's in the name. It's federated, by the people, for the people. But I guess that's enough yapping for now. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to donate, my Ko-fi link's always in the description. Do all that YouTube stuff, and hopefully I'll see you before the fall.